The topic of today's video is why insecurities form. Now, the reason why I wanted to discuss this topic is because I think that if we understand why these things, these insecurities, these beliefs, these ideas, they form in our heads, then it would be much easier to navigate them, and it would just, it would make the entire process a lot easier when you're trying to overcome them and trying to settle them. The first reason why insecurities form is they form in our childhood. Like the majority of the insecurities that you might have, they probably were formed in childhood. Maybe your nose is too big, maybe your, I don't know, maybe your nose is too big, maybe your, I don't know, maybe your jaw is shaped in a way, maybe, I don't know, your hair are too long, maybe you look a certain way, maybe your skin color is this. Like all of these insecurities that you have they probably form during childhood, and especially during school, because when you're in school, you're around other people, and you like other kids may bully you, teachers may poke at you, that shit happens in school. I know damn well it happened to me. So it could happen to anybody. Schools are, that's why I don't know, I'm not sure about schools, because yes, people should be educated, people should learn, but there's a lot of other things that happen in school that go unnoticed, like bullying happens, fucking like I don't want to go on to a rant about school because that's not the topic of this video, but just I'll probably save that topic for another video on how school affects you and shit like that. But like I was saying, it's not even just the school. Like anybody, it could be your family members, it could be your friends, it could be the people that you see anywhere. Like yes, how others view you and how others how others look at you, and if they show it to you when you're not that developed, and you are naive and you are a kid, and they say that your nose looks this way, I don't know, your eyes are crossed, like they say some shit like that, then yes, it could have very lasting impact on you about your looks. So the rest of your life you have that that thought at the back of your head that people probably would poke fun at this feature that I have. It's not just physical features, it could be anything. It could be the way you talk, it could be the way, I don't know, you walk, like it could be anything. I don't think that's anything to poke fun at. I think that everyone is unique, and that whatever unique features you have, let's say like let's say you have a nose of a certain shape, like that's what makes you you, that's what makes you unique. That's what I think. Like you shouldn't be insecure about it, but like that's not the point. Right now I'm talking about how it forms, so like let's focus on that. So yeah, that's the probably the most impactful reason. Like all other reasons, yes, yeah, they contribute a little bit, yes, but this one, especially when you're a kid, school especially, it's like the entire world to you. Like when you're in school, you're around a whole new world. That's probably the only social interaction you have, unless you go outside and play with other kids. I did not do that for some reason, and it feels kind of weird, like unless you have an adult supervising you, which my parents did not have the time to do that. They were busy with shit, so I usually played inside my own house. But unless you have your parents supervising you outside, then I don't know why a kid should be out playing alone. Like I don't think that's a very good idea. But like I was saying, that school is probably the most the most social we'll ever be. Like there's like, I don't know, 50, 60 or other people in class. 50, 60, I think that's pushing it a little bit. Maybe like 20 people, 30 people in the class, and the teachers. So it's a very social environment, and that's probably the most social you'll be as a kid, unless something you have some other scenario of social interactions, like maybe, I don't know, you do some other classes, I don't know, or you have a lot of family members or something like that, right? But yeah, for a majority of the people, school is everything. If you get made fun of at school, then yeah, that's a pretty bad sign. If you get bullied at school, then that's pretty much a bad sign. I don't know why these topics of bullying and all this shit, like why they go unnoticed. That's bro, people how do I explain this, bro? I'm hot as fuck, bro. Let me take this shit off. I'm kind of gonna do that in every video. Like it's fucking hot in here. Like it's October 1, but I don't know. I still feel a little a little bit warm, a little bit sweaty. Anyways, like I was saying, the first reason, yes, obviously. So I'm not really gonna go into how you can solve your insecurities and stuff like that, because I think that's gonna take a lot more time, and that's, it has a lot of nuances of its own. But right now I'm just talking about why it can form. The second reason it can form is due to what you consume. Like if you especially as a child, like if as a child, if you watch, stupid content, you watch, I don't know, it's like some stupid movies or some shit like that, that could really, alter your perception of, how you see yourself and how you see the things around you. I don't really have a good example for this because I never really went through it myself. Majority of my insecurities just came through, what other people thought of, me, like the first example I gave. But I have never really personally experienced this, but I know a lot of people have. That what you consume can, really affect the way you see yourself and you see the world around you. I think that consumption is a very good thing. I think that consumption, as in, learning things and shit like that. Just saying. Like I think that, learning things and consuming content and all that, it's a really good thing. It's, if you're watching good content, if you're learning things every day, like. When you go to school, you're basically there to consume the knowledge they're giving you. You're there to educate yourself. Like learning things, consuming content, it's basically a form of education. You're watching this video right now, I'm educating you. This is me creating content and you're consuming it. Like I'm sharing value with you. This can literally change lives, right? So consuming content and, educating yourself, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. It can change lives. It can change your life. It can change, it's a very good thing. But as a child, you don't really know what like the world around you, so you are dependent on whatever your mother shows you, whatever your father shows you, whatever you are shown at school, whatever the teachers tell you about the world, whatever you read in history books, like that becomes your worldview, right? It's crazy, right? Because the things that you consume become you. Like that saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend most time with, right? That's completely true. You are the average of 5 people you spend time with. So if you even if you have friends that are that are constantly shitting on you and making fun of you, that's what you're going to see yourself as. That can be a source of insecurity. So consuming content, being around other people, just the things in general that you feed your mind, they can literally they can accelerate how much insecure you are. If on the contrary you had people that uplifted you, that told you that you were good enough, that made you feel good about yourself, then yes, your insecurities will be minimized. It's common sense, right? This. But I don't know why we choose to sometimes do shit like that, which clearly harms us. Why do we choose to consume shit that that isn't worth consuming? Actually, I do know why, because there's a it's different for everyone. I can just give you a general rule on why we do that shit to ourselves, but and I don't know if people even do that. Like I used to watch a lot of shitty content and those kind of stupid content on YouTube and scroll, even though I knew it was bad for me. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Why the fuck would you scroll for 5 hours a day if you know that shit clearly isn't, the kind of life you want to live? Why would you do that? Me personally, I was just doing that because, it kind of helped me to ignore reality, and it helped me to, indulge myself in a world where I was, carefree, and I didn't have to think about all the shit that was going in my life anymore. That was why I scrolled 5 hours a day. So there are deeper reasons to why we do things. There are deeper reasons to why we see things in such a way. There are deeper reasons to our insecurities. It's it's a very deep. There's deeper concepts to it. There's layers to this shit. Yeah. You can't just say that no, bro, my nose is too big. Nah, you think that your nose is too big. I don't think your nose is big. You think that your nose is big. I don't know why I'm saying this nose example too long, because I've heard it a lot. But let's play along, right? You think that your nose is too big. I don't think that. That's your worldview. What shaped your worldview? Why you think that? Who made you believe that? That's you gotta do the work to figure that out. So if you've been watching this video and you've been attentive, you know that what contributes to our insecurities is basically what we consume, and basically what we consume and what we feed our minds. So the instant way to stop, to minimize. I'm kind of sick right now, I apologize for that. So like I was saying, the instant way to like become minimize your insecurities would be literally to consume better content. Even if you don't have friends right now, just start watching things that uplift you. Start, I don't know, start watching podcasts, start watching, I don't know, feel good motivational videos. Let's just do something fucking that's gonna uplift your mind and make you see yourself in a more positive, in a more optimistic light. That's the literally the instant way to minimize your insecurities and start living healthy. There's a lot of layers to this. It's childhood, especially because childhood is a very critical period of time. Everything is developed during childhood. How we see ourselves, what our beliefs are. Because when you're a child, you just came into this world, right? You don't know shit about it. You don't know how it works. Bro, my throat is burning. I don't think I can continue talking for too long, but I guess I'll end the video right here and I'll explain more of this later on. Okay, see you in the next video.